Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, sit down. This isn't about me, it's about you. Except it does say up here on the podium, please start your speech by saying your name. Here, here. I'm the bow tie gun guy. You know, listening to the speakers this morning and talking with a lot of you out in the hall, it dawned on me that while the other side, the gun grabbers, have a bunch of billionaires and a lot more cash than we do, we have a lot more talent than they do. This is actually my favorite part of GRPC, is the award ceremony. And if some of you who've been here in past ones have heard me say that, and it's really my favorite part because there's an awful lot of people in our movement that work on protecting our rights on a daily basis, never get a dime for doing it. And they're out there devoting their lives to it, and I've watched people lose families over it, lose jobs over it, you know, and it's amazing the effort that goes in by grassroots people, and they never get any recognition. This is like the only time that people get recognition in the movement. And so it's really my pleasure to work on this awards ceremony because it means an awful lot to a lot of people, and it pumps up a lot of people's energy levels and keeps them out there working and fighting for our two-way rights. So let me start. I know it's a long list. But let me start. One of the awards we give out every year is the Scholar of the Year. And there's a number of people out there that work every day to develop data and statistics to give us ammunition to be able to win the gun rights battle. But there's one person who really, really, really stands out, and that's John Lott.
Well, it's an honor to get the award. You know, I just kind of backed into doing this stuff on guns. I'd never really been very interested in it. And I had some students when I was teaching at Wharton. I made the mistake of telling them we were ahead in the syllabus. And so they came up to me after class and said, well, if you got extra time, maybe you could go and talk about gun control. And they said, they realized it wasn't exactly on point for the class, but I figured, well, you know, I could read more in the area. I'd read some papers in the area, but they weren't very good. And so anyway, I just kind of got into it. I almost stopped about 6 times on the original project that we were working on. And then I just happened to get a call from a guy named Dennis Couchon, who was a reporter for USA Today, who I'd gotten to know when I was at the U.S. Sentencing Commission. And he would call me up every 6 months or so and just ask me questions. So anyway, he called me up, asked me questions, and he said, well, what are you working on? And I said, well, I just finished this paper. He said, send it to me. It sounds interesting. And about a week later, it was on the front page of USA Today. And we were kind of off to the races. But even then, there's basically 2 things that have kept me in on this. One is the fact that people have referred to as my stray cat syndrome. And that is, I guess I kind of convinced myself that if I didn't do some of this stuff, nobody else would. And so, because I've been involved in a lot of academic debates. You know, I've been at a lot of universities before I got involved in the gun stuff. And I just had never seen so much false information on it. I'm talking too long, I know. So anyway, I appreciate it and thanks. The only thing I'd say is there's so much work that needs to be done. I mean, you wouldn't believe the hundreds of millions of dollars that are being poured into research on the other side of this. And anyway, I appreciate Alan and everybody else here. Sorry for talking so long.
And don't worry, you'll be able to hear a lot more from John later on today.